The best tip for Foley is you don't need an expensive Foley stage. If you can come prepared as much as you can with like all the different clothing that you need, like preparedness is the number one key to it.
Hi, Mark here.
And I'm Jakob.
And welcome back to Department Spotlight. It's the show where we talk to our friends and colleagues about their experiences in the South African film industry.
Today we will be talking about sound design. So we have 4 of our friends and colleagues here to talk about their experiences in sound with all the different aspects. So I also do sound. I studied it at After Film School along with everybody that we're going to have here. So let's get into it.
My name is Peloyame Dituanyane. I am an on-set sound recordist as well as an aspiring artist.
I'm Alyssa. I record on set and I do post-production sound.
Cool, my name's Kevin, and at this point in time I am a junior sound editor.
My name's Natasha and I do on-set and post for sound.
So if we're speaking about ADR, what are your techniques? Do you have any sort of tips, or how do you approach it?
I normally make the director show up to get them back into character. A lot of the time I've had actors come back and we're like, cool, play the video. Okay, do you want to watch it again? Okay, now try, and we'll record and see if you get it. And a lot of the time it's completely different. I've had actors who just want to hear the line, hear how they said it, and then repeat themselves. I've had actors come on, we're just like, cool, we can't even see your mouth, just say the line. And they say it completely flat, like, oh, it's you again. And we're like, no, you're happy. Oh, it's you again. And it's like, okay, director, come help me out, please. And I think that's probably the most helpful experience I've had, is just getting someone who can get them into the right headspace.
It falls down to preparing your actor before, sending them cue sheets, letting them already familiarize themselves with what they need to do. Also, like Natasha said, having a director. It's not always going to be the director, but sometimes it's your producer, just someone who knows the script and knows the characters well enough to just give direction.
That's actually really interesting. I haven't even thought about that, just sending the stuff to the actors before so they can practice on their own. That's genius, actually.
It is.
I mean, that would make everything so much easier if they just know already what they need to do.
And prep
that's
your
good.
sessions, have markers everywhere, have beeps, and have tracks for every character, have their own tracks. Just separate it, keep it organized.
Kevin, do you have any hot ADR tips?
Because I'm in the same place Alyssa was, the cue sheets are the number one thing, with time code exactly where the thing starts, and the 3 beeps thing is also a lifesaver because it gets them into this rhythm. The 3 beeps is just like a 1, 2, 3, and
it's like a countdown before they speak.
And then it's so they prepare themselves. And then another tip is mic setup and placement in the studio. So they're
Yes.
actors comfortable and they know where they are and they understand where the mic is, and that they don't look into the mic, they look at the screen where you're recording.
Right. Perhaps going on from ADR is recording Foley. Any tips there? What's your experience with recording your own Foley sound effects? That type of vibe?
Foley is depending on the type of film, if you can get a Foley artist in, or if you can do it yourself, but the best tip for Foley is you don't need an expensive Foley stage. If you can come prepared as much as you can with all the different clothing that you need, preparedness is the number one key to it, because when it comes to mixing, you can still clean it up and cut out external noise to an extent, obviously, but Foley's a difficult one because obviously it depends on the type of film, TV show that you're doing. Didn't have a Foley artist for a while, so we had to take pre-recorded stuff. You basically dialogue editor comes to you and they're like, okay, cool, this scene all need Foley, and then you'll go through it and you'll mark the session. You'll what they call spotting, and then you go about that, and then you have to sit and do the tedious job of syncing every single footstep. This is the thing that I've learned the most in the past 5 months, was sitting and putting footsteps for every single foot that moves on the screen, and it's super it can become tedious, but it's worth it at the end when you hear the final mix. It plays a pivotal part.
Yeah, I was about to say, when it comes to Foley, I always try to get on set. I don't want to spend time in Foley, especially because I haven't really worked on anything with a budget to get a Foley artist in, so it's normally me.
Yeah.
If someone's not talking and they're walking, I'll boom their feet. Yeah. I don't want to have to try to make the surfaces sound like the same thing. It's always much easier to try to get as much on set as possible.
Yeah. If I may ask, so a similar situation where on set I usually record my own Foley, but with post in mind, because I don't do post. So let's say because I worked on a web series recently, and I did exactly that, where on set I was recording all the Foley's footsteps, doors opening, such things, and I sent it in, logged and whatever. But when it gets to you in post, this is just a question from me to you as a post person. Do you even use the Foley I give you, or you prefer to re-record?
I'd always prefer to use the on-set because it always fits the scene better. Yeah, because then you have to, because if you're trying to do Foley, you have to make it fit the surfaces and the size of the room, which you can do reverb, but it's just so much more time consuming. So if you have a good set recording, always choose the set recording.
Yeah, because that's what I always try and do, where whenever I'm on set, I try and get the extra Foley with post in mind. No one has to ask me to do it. I just do it by myself. But I always ask myself, do they actually use it in post? Because they don't tell me, your Foley was good, or the footsteps matched, or, it's just a me thing where I'm like, okay, for post, let me just, record the Foley and send it through.
You should, when you're recording it, just be like, okay, this is Foley footstep, take 1. Also tell me if you used it. And then...
That's a good idea. That's a good idea.
I've actually went from the recent stuff that we did. There was some stuff where I like to do that as well. Kevin worked on 3 of them. No? Yeah, 3 of them with two of them with us. 2 of them. For the ones that he didn't do, I just did it myself. And sometimes there's a lot going on set, and then you just forget to get some certain stuff, and then I literally just go back to location if it's not, somebody's grandma's house. But then I just go back to the location a few days later and then just record it again. Do you guys, if you get into that situation, would you go back to the original location, or do you just in your living room try to recreate the Foley? Well, not in your stage or wherever your studio, wherever you're shooting.
Oh, I can't say much on Foley, but I can say something on what's this, on room tone, where I always try to get the room tone on set, but if I can't get it that day or within the week, I always try to go back and record it. I haven't done it with Foley because all my Foley has been done on set on the day we shoot. But with room tone, I have done it where what's this? You get it at a later stage because I couldn't get it that day.
Yeah, cool. So talking about room tone, I think that might be the biggest source of all the memes. What happens when you forget room tone? And also, okay, wait, no, let's break it up. What happens when you forget room tone? Like Peloyame was saying, what happens when you forget? Do you just find a stock sound, or try to find a stock sound, or do you just try to record it again? What happens if you can't go back? You can't go back at all to the place.
Wow. Yeah, I've never been in that situation where I can't go, or where I have had to retake it and I couldn't go back to the location. But room tone is always my main priority, just because that's the way we were taught. So room tone, I've been in multiple fights with ADs because of room tone. But I was taught that room tone is king, and I always make sure I get my room tone. No matter the fights, no matter if they tell me, okay, we give you 1 minute, I get it. So room tone, I make sure that I always get it.
With stock ambience, it's layering. Get a good ambience library and layer indoor, outdoor, like interior, exterior ambience. I think it's more in post-production creating that environment that you don't feel when you're actually on set.
I think in my graduation film we were shooting, it's like a big drag race track. And it was super windy and there were bugs and there were tractors in the distance. So all of my room tone didn't really match the dialogue at all. So I managed to like get snippets between their pauses and I built my own dialogue, my own ambience track. It was hell, but room tone was too much to like use. I think it worked in like a few scenes when they were more interior, but because of the wind and the bugs and the everything in the entire world making noise, it was too inconsistent. So I ended up building it from like in between the dialogue.
Yeah, I remember Yaku's done that a lot.
I've done that a lot, but not because the ambience didn't work, just because I forgot to record it. That happens to me a lot. I actually even I forgot to record an ambience for one of these shorts that we did, and because we did all the post over like November, December. So for December, I came back to Bloemfontein and without recording the ambience, and I was like, oh crap! So I literally just used my kitchen for like that kitchen in that house, or I used our like backyard for the outside night ambience or whatever. And but after I did so many Franken ambiences. Please hire me as a sound still. I promise I've learned. To all the future employers out there. So thank you so much, Natasha, Peloyame, Alyssa, and Kevin. This was such a great conversation. I'm so happy we had it. Thank you guys so much. So Pleasure. Insightful. So
thank you so much, guys.
Thanks, guys. See you later.
Thank you. Don't forget to subscribe.
So thanks to Peloyame, Natasha, Kevin, and Alyssa for their awesome insights into sound.
If you'd like to listen to the full version of this podcast, there's a link down below. You can listen to it on Spotify, Apple Music, anywhere that you listen to your podcasts. Also, if you're not subscribed yet, it's free. So just click that little red button. It's like right down there. It's like right there. While you're down there, just maybe press the little bell button. You'll get notified every time we make a new video, which is every Friday and every Tuesday, with a new short film on the first Friday of every month. So let us know in the comments what you got from that conversation, or if you want to go into sound as your profession. We'll try our best to answer any questions that you might have. So leave us a like, and until next time, stay inside. Make your movie.